Not Sold Separately is brought to you by Brooke
and Erika, two inseparable 20-somethings who haven't run out of things to talk about since 2001.
From little girls playing dress up to successful little sales reps, these two are ready to dish on dating,
Or lack thereof.
positivity,
Well, we try.
travel diaries,
Not without horror stories.
hot topics,
With hot takes.
and crawling up the corporate ladder.
Whether it's briefcases and stilettos or sweats and sneaks, this duo is sure to entertain,
We are here to remind you to take risks
build confidence,
and have fun because
it's just not that serious.
Welcome back to
The Not Sold Separately podcast.
And we're doing a sing-along today.
What day is not a sing-along day?
Honestly, we're getting really into the sing-alongs.
I hope you all are enjoying.
Yeah. I recently watched a sing-along, aka a musical, Les Mis. Absolutely never again in my life. I don't know. I regretted asking to watch it.
That is like one of the most depressing films that you can possibly engage in watching.
I really don't know what I was expecting. And I like my mom warned me, my sister
The
warned me.
time of year is already bleh. So what would possess you to want to put that on the television screen?
I don't know.
Voluntarily.
I don't know. I just really felt that I needed to see it in my lifetime, and now I feel like I didn't
Les
need to
Mis
see it.
is Les Mis.
I did it to myself. I asked for it. But, it's that time of year, and everyone's...
It's funky.
Yeah.
And you know what else is funky? This crisp. What is this called? Angry
Orchard.
This cider.
Oh.
I'm convinced that I'm allergic to it because every time that I'm drinking it, my tongue is like swelling up, and I do have an issue with apples.
Yeah,
so that would add up.
fun fact, when we were studying abroad in Paris specifically, we went to a restaurant, and it was like by our hotel, which
I
like,
don't
was
remember
not...
what. Oh,
yeah.
I know what you're gonna say.
It was like
now.
not the... It was like a random area, kind of.
It was actually Sketchball City area that we thought we were gonna get mugged in. So
Yeah, it was just like so bizarro, and we stumbled upon this restaurant.
it was like
and
the 12th district. Like I don't think that's a thing, but there are
Arrondissement.
districts.
Arrondissement. That's what they're called. Yeah. Anyway, I took
Fucking
French.
major.
I took
Okay.
French. Okay. In high school for like 3 years,
Stop flexing.
and I got yelled at for being a chatterbox. So anyway, are we surprised? Moving right along, we were in France actually, and we're roaming the streets, and we stumbled upon this restaurant. It was like healthy. It was giving healthy vibes.
It was
And-
giving health, wellness,
Yeah.
detox,
So
cleanse.
basically, I remember we got pasta salad. It was like a cold pasta salad and smoothies. Excuse me. And smoothies.
Just took your breath away. It was so good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they took your breath away because your throat was closing up, because then we realized there was apple in the smoothie.
It was like
Yeah.
it was like a juice. It wasn't really a smoothie.
You're right. It was like a furry juice. It was so
You
gross.
guys know when you get a green juice somewhere and it's like the pulp is
The
in
pulp.
it still.
The
So it
pulp.
is furry, in fact.
It was like furry is the only way that I could describe
Yeah,
it.
so it's pulp,
anyway,
but-
so good thing we didn't need
Any-
a EpiPen. We were okay, but like
I
you
mean,
were
why would I bring
scratching it.
that? Yeah, I was scratching really bad. I've actually
Yeah.
taken allergy shots since then, so now
Oh
my
God.
body's
You went through
gotten
a
better.
whole series.
Rigmarole. Is that what you say?
Rigmarole. Rigmarole.
Rigmarole. Not
Yeah.
a rigor.
I don't know. Guys, our brains are
Mush.
cluttered. My brain right now, I'm like interchanging words, interchanging letters. I have too much happening.
It's
so
a ping
I just,
pong. No, a pinball machine. See, I can't even fucking talk.
Yeah, exactly. So I just ordered. I just told Erica, I'm like, I just ordered this like spiral notebook, like over the top, not over the side, of like a checklist, because I just constantly have these like things running in my mind, and I need I'm a pen and paper person.
I mean,
need to
I
write it
was
down.
so explicit and just like beyond out of my mind with work today that like my coworkers were like, I hope you're recording the pod tonight because you are so like, you sound so funny because you're honestly haphazard. And I'm like, I'm so glad you're finding it entertaining.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for.
You know what? We're here to entertain.
Always.
And, I'm sure you guys can relate to our clouded brains right now. But in order to decloud our brains, we've been trying to declutter our brains, our lives, etc. We're wishing it was spring. So, like, spring cleaning vibes, but, like, we're not there yet.
Yeah,
We're hoping
we'll channel that.
It's on the horizon.
Yeah, we'll channel that energy. However, it's necessary now. We cannot wait until the spring to do the reset and declutter.
Yeah.
And
well, you know what? It's like the holiday fog is over.
Correct.
We're out of January, like that has cleared. And now it's like, okay, now it's time to really get down to business and figure our shit out.
yeah, this is where the wheels fall off the wagon. Your fucking New Year's resolutions, fucking Aunt Susie's, like, you know, the treadmill, she's probably done with it now. And, like, everyone's just, like, off their rocker. It's like, okay. But honestly, no. Let's
Buckle up, buckle down.
Yeah.
And get it together.
Yeah. Like, if you want to keep your goals top of mind and be consistent and stay motivated, which we can get into how that's a whole fucking hoax anyways, but regardless, starting with a good declutter and reset is really the first step to success.
Yeah, because you know what? You can't go on with your goals and like whatever it is that you want to accomplish with your brain being cluttered, your space being cluttered, like just everything is just an overload. And you know what? So much of life is like overconsumption and overstimulation.
You have to buy this. You have to get this. You have to be on your phone 100 million hours a day. My eyes, the fucking doctor told me, your eyes, you can't even produce, like your tear ducts are so shot to hell. Like you're not producing enough like tears. And it's like because
you need
we're
to
on
be
our
lubricated.
Phones. That, but like they're like, no, you're on your screens too much. Like your computer, you're all day on there for work. Then, oh wait, have a second job, do a podcast. Why not? And then third thing, on TikTok, scrolling for hours. It's like, when do your like we don't?
Then
get
I go on my iPad.
Like, iPad kid, like overstimulation.
Like you can't escape it. Or you watch TV. Oh, let's relax. Let's watch TV. Another screen. Everywhere you go, there's a screen popping up in your face. But my dad also makes fun of me because I always say, like, if he, like, comes in and, like, I'm having a conversation, then he starts, like, talking to me super loud. I'm like, oh, my God, like, I'm overstimulated, Dad. Like, you need to wait. And now he makes fun of me. He's like, oh, are you overstimulated, Brooke? And then I laugh.
I fucking am.
So you know what? But now it's, like, he's making light of it, so it makes me less serious about it. And I'm like, oh, haha, whatever.
I will say, like, the first step to this, or, like, the first thing that when you think of decluttering, you think of your space or your environment, right?
Yeah, my God.
And someone once told me, I don't know who it was.
Someone
the
once
fucking
told me.
prophecy.
Wow.
I have
Okay.
no idea. That if your space is messy or your environment is messy, your mind will inherently be messy. It's connected.
1,000%. Well, you know, like my office was so cluttered over like the holiday break, and I was 1 second away from a mental break. I was gonna
Guys,
lose it.
if you saw this particular office space, it looks like a storage unit. Did not look like an office.
Thank you.
And it did look like she could have been on like Hoarders Coming Alive, whatever that show is.
Yep.
So.
Genuinely an episode of Hoarders.
Yeah.
So basically, you know, there's always a room that like ends up collecting all of the shit for like the household, and that's just what happened to my office, which is also the spare room. So whatever, I was having a conniption. And before I went back to work after the holidays, I was like, I can't do this for One More Day by Mitch Albom. And I just like ripped through the room and I like stacked shit up and I just moved it all like to one side at least. Like there's still a couple like boxes and bins and whatever, but I made it more organized. I cleared the space. I cleared the couch off. I cleared the space behind my chair so that I could back it up.
Excellent.
Who knew? No claustrophobia. Now it's gone. And I cleared off my desk, which I really had to organize that too, because like over the course of like the end of the year, it gets
mail, shit.
And I'm like, this is why I was having such a hard time being productive at work, because my whole desk was covered in crap. So now I'm like literally so much more productive every day at my desk. So yeah, decluttering, can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
However, can't really say the same for my room. I try.
No,
I try.
You're working
and then
with little space,
Yeah.
little time, little resources. But, you know, Erica luckily has 2 closets that she can spread her stuff between, so it's a little bit easier. Yeah. But what I will say is, like, regardless, I get into these phases where I will not touch. I'm currently, like, you know, was just going through this whole packing phase of my life where I'm literally packing up, you know, moving and whatnot. And, you know, I took that as an opportunity to go through every single blessed item that I own and really assess, is this a keep, is this a donate, or is this a throwaway? And honestly, the shit that I mean, Brooke, it's like I procrastinate doing this stuff more regularly.
Right.
And then when I go to do it, it's like bombs away. Like, it's ridiculous.
You think that you're on Hoarders. Because
I
like,
thought
oh
that I
my
was
God.
on Hoarders.
Yeah.
And what happens to me is, she knows, I get the fucking shitbox chair in my room. I have this one recliner that gets piled up with clothes. This is just one facet of the room that gets fucked up. to the point where it'll be overfloweth before I will touch
and
it or do
it's like a
anything with
rocking
it.
chair too. So like it's gonna tip.
It's
Like,
ready.
literally,
The
it's teetering.
seesaw is about to tip the fuck over.
Yeah.
And so the reason why I'm kind of bringing this up and I want to tie it back is one of the more helpful tips is like it gets to a point where it becomes so daunting and overwhelming. And so you have to just level set and think, okay, what's like a starting point? And the starting is often the hardest part.
Yeah.
What I'll recommend is when I'm really in like, I call it my depression cave, my depression session.
Yeah.
When the room is just
The
bombs
depression
away,
chair, yeah.
that I will. There's usually stuff on the floor. There's piles. There's clumps. There's just everything is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Take it, put it on the bed. Start collecting things onto the bed to get it off the floor, to get it off the chair, to get it off the desk, to get it off the end table. Get it off of those areas and start collecting it on the bed.
Yeah.
Because then from there you can assess where is this going. Again, trash, donate, keep, put away, whatever it needs to do. And then it finds its respective home.
And then you also have to get it off the bed because you need to sleep in the bed at the end of the night. Because
Correct.
I know all of us are guilty of doing this. You start the project, you're in the mood, you're like, yeah, let's go, let's clean this out. And then halfway through, you're like, I'm kind of tired, I'm kind of done with this. But if it's on your bed, like you have to at least like put it in an organized spot. Like even if you don't finish everything, you have to put it in an organized pile somewhere, like, yeah. So
it is a really good hack. I'll be honest.
No, I do the same thing. So
pro tip.
Yeah, no, I like that. I will also say, in the sense of like going through all of your shit and deciding like what to keep and not, something that like you have been doing and then kind of inspired me to do was stop keeping the stupid memorabilia. Like take a picture of it and move on. Because
picture lasts 1,000. What's it? Take a picture, it lasts longer.
There you go. I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's a phrase. No. Yeah, no, it does. And you know what? This piece of paper that I'm holding on to of my NJHS honors, like, who knows what it is?
I found my NJHS pin. I mean, guys, we're sick.
Did you keep it?
No, I threw that bitch away.
Like, I totally have it in a
I kept my
somewhere.
sorority pin, though.
Have to.
That I spent a fuck ton of money on. Like, I messed up so bad. I got, like, the most expensive one with, like,
oh my
pearls
God.
on it. Shit, like, I didn't realize.
In my sorority, like, you're not allowed to have the pearls unless you got a 4.0. I don't have any pearls, guys. Like,
yeah, 4.0.
Lizzie has the pearls,
her.
So.
Shout out, Lizzie. Doesn't
literally
surprise me.
My Einstein of a roommate.
I'll show you her. She's cute. That little like badge. It's adorable.
Yeah. The amount of times that like I was panicking on a Sunday trying to find that fucker.
Yeah. You know what else got thrown out? Are you ready for this?
I'm not sure.
Throwback Thursday. Alex and Ani's.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! I still have fucking some of them. I throw out a lot, but I kept like the Disney ones because why? Because I'm wearing them? No, I'm not wearing them.
I kept a Disney one too.
Like what? Like why?
It was cute because it had a good memory attached to it. It was
Okay.
purple and gold, and it said like "believe" in whatever the quote is on it. And I got it when I was at like college nationals, and it was purple and yellow like Westchester. And it was when we got second my senior year. Like it was like actually was it my senior year? Because that's kind of embarrassing then, because that wasn't that long ago.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
It was in college, yeah. But regardless, and this is the process you have to do in your head. Like, does this mean something to me, or does it not?
Well, and what we were just talking about too is like over time you get further removed from these items.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like over time I go back and purge over the same things that I already went through and I'm going to keep this, but then you purge more of it because it's like, I actually really don't need this. Like I have every single year gone back and given my fam and my sorority more and more clothes because it's like you think you want to keep this and then it's like I haven't even seen this in 7 years. So like I'm going to give it to you guys and give it to the fam and give it to the new ones and like whatever.
And because you just brought up clothes, that reminds me, another good rule of thumb that I implore all of you to use as an assessment measure when you're looking at your clothes or accessories is, have I worn this in the last year?
Yeah.
And has the season passed that I would typically wear this item in that year time frame? If it has, then you must figure out if it's being donated or thrown out, because you are absolutely not going to wear it again the next season if you didn't pick it up in that last one. Like you're just not.
And you know what? You also hit the nail on the head though. Donate / throw out. Like I always try to donate as much as I can. And then I also found like a local-ish consignment shop. So I'll do that. If there's something that's a good quality piece, and normally like I would have held on to it even if I didn't wear it because I know it's a good piece and like, oh, maybe I'll wear it next year. Well, I don't feel bad about getting rid of it because someone else, like, I can sell it, right? And maybe I'll make like $5 off of it, whatever. But that's like allowed me to get more things out of my closet
Yeah,
that
you
I would
feel
normally
less
hold on
guilty
to.
about it. Exactly.
Yeah. Like, oh, well, it's free people, so I should keep it. No. Like, it's okay.
Or,
Someone else will like it.
Like things that just don't fit you anymore, whether
Yeah.
they're too big or too small. Like there's a couple things that I spent good money on that I
Right.
just can't part with.
Exactly. And that's what I was going
And
to
I'm
say.
like, maybe one day I'll be a skinny queen again, but who knows, right?
But
So,
there's always fluctuation. That's just like the nature of being a
Yes.
woman, I feel.
Very
Even
much
like
so.
with it, throughout the time
Mm-hmm.
of the month, like you just fluctuate.
Yeah.
Just with like
The luteal or whatever
yeah.
the fuck they call it.
Yeah, I don't even know it's like the phases of the moons, like
Like
the
right
phases
now,
of, yeah.
I'm feeling I look hideous.
It's
And I'm
really
like, what time of the month is it? 'Cause I look actually scary,
Yeah.
clown-like.
It happens
fucking-
every
I don't know.
month, and I get scared. And
But
then I'm
I
like,
look gorgeous again. It's
I
like, so it
know.
just has this ebb and flow.
the depths of being a woman.
But yeah, so I guess let's pivot a little bit, right? And
Yeah.
think about how, in terms of decluttering, right? So it's not just about your space or your physical items, but how about your time?
Your time is precious. You know what I always say? Time is money, bitch.
Abso-fucking-tootly. And I'll do you one better. Your time and your energy are your two most precious resources. Shout out Mel Robbins. It's a fact. It's a fact.
This woman, I think, has changed my life. In the first 3 days that I started hearing her clips / listening to like one episode of her podcast, like I'm like, literally my brain is exploding.
She is currently
And I'm-
rewiring my brain as we speak.
Yeah, like I'm becoming so much of a better person. I think she's the one who said this, but just pivoting back just a smidge to your space physically, it was don't put it away, put it down, right? Didn't she say that? I don't know. It was like a TikTok sound,
unclear,
but like I
but yeah.
figured it might as well be her. Maybe it's not, but I kept seeing those on TikTok, so now I like hear it in my head. Like, if you're gonna put that cup in the sink, no, put it in the dishwasher.
Correct.
And just like with the room, with the desk, it's like, no, even my pens, I'm like, nope, put it in the drawer. Don't leave it on the desk, because once you start, then everything else will collect. So
Exactly.
I'm really trying to do that.
Yeah, and that's all kind of a time saver too, right? Because then
Yeah.
things aren't becoming such a
because-
bombs away.
Yeah, because then you're doing it twice, right? Because if you're just putting it down, then you have to put it away, you're wasting your time. So that's where
So it
I'm
does
trying
tie
to
back.
I'm trying
It
to like
does.
trick, my brain into that. So that's a good one.
And I think, we're at this point now, at least for us, right, in this phase of our life where it's only going to get busier. Things aren't
God.
getting, I hate Victoria for this
I
because she really,
know.
I think you know what I'm about to say right now.
Yeah.
She says, things will never be easier than they are in this current moment.
Isn't that mental?
It is such a sick and twisted thing for her to say, but I cannot stress to you all enough how true it rings. Whatever phase of life you're in right now, you probably think it's like the throes of hell. Like there's some stressful elements that are just, oh my God, this is unbearable. I said that weird.
Unbearable.
The apple is, my tongue's starting to swell. Sorry, guys.
No.
There's things that become very like daunting, and it's like, oh my God, how am I going to get over this? How am I going to do this? This is so stressful. I'm worrying about this. And I think about that 5 years ago, things I worried about. And then I think about what I'm worrying and stressing over now. Holy fucking A.
No,
The
it's insane.
difference?
And that goes back to, too, what I was saying like a couple episodes ago about the hot air balloon. It goes back to that, right? Go up in the hot air balloon and look down at the timeline of your life. You are literally at the beginning still. Like, you have so many more years, which come with so much more responsibility and worries and, like, actual stressors, where it's like, oh, my God, take a chill pill and, like, manage it, because
Yep.
you have to learn how to manage it now.
Yeah.
Because it's only going to get worse in the future. So if you don't know now, you're not going to know then, and then you're going to be a mess.
You're so correct. Even more so why it is important for you to be really caring and considering where you're spending your time and energy.
It's so valuable. I mean, I always joke with my friends when we're like trying to make plans and stuff. They're like, oh, what are you doing like this month? I'm like, I'm booked 3 months out right now. So put your time in now. And I laugh, but I'm like, I'm a slave to the calendar. Like I
You
am.
are, yeah.
Because if you don't have your shit booked, and it's never going to get done.
But what I'm going to say too on this is because everything's so busy and you've got like different friend groups and so wants to hang out and you got to fly here and do. It's also okay to say no to things.
Exactly.
This has been a hard pill to swallow, but it's really okay to say, you know what? I can't make it tonight.
I love saying no.
I can't do that. Sorry doesn't work for me. It's okay to say that.
And like genuinely mean it. Like there's nothing better than being snuggled up on the couch with like not being at whatever those plans are that you declined. Yeah. Like that is okay. You need to be able to recharge your battery.
Mm-hmm. And that's a part of decluttering your like mind.
Yeah.
And then that penetrates into the calendar and how you can, you know, better serve yourself and like, you know, keeping mental tabs of like, where am I gaining energy and feeling recharged and where am I feeling drained?
Yep,
and making sure that you're taking the steps to just like, I don't know, like really sort out who are the people that I enjoy spending time with.
Yep.
And who maybe I need to pull back from. It's all part of this.
Yeah. And you need to
session.
It is. And you need to make time for the people that you care about and the things that you care about.
Yes.
But you also need to make time for yourself and prioritize like when the door's shut at night and you're by yourself, how do you feel? And
basically,
what are you missing?
Get your fucking priorities straight. You dumb
fucks. Iron it out.
Get them straight. Get them written down. Get the 3-ring spiral. What the fuck did you buy?
Yeah. A spiral checklist. Well, I don't know if that'll really. I'm a pen and paper person.
A spiral notebook. Yeah. Just whatever you need to do.
Put it in the
get
notes
a goddamn tattoo. Like, get a tattoo.
Okay.
I don't care what you have to do.
I think that's cluttering your skin. So, like, it's going to mix with the freckles.
All right, guys. Just, you know, shut the hell up.
I'm just kidding. No, but honestly, we're going to give you permission here. Be a little selfish, okay?
Hell yeah.
You need to prioritize yourself because you're setting yourself and your life up for success, right? So if you're not taking care of yourself and like doing what you need to do, then everything else isn't going to get done. You're not going to be able to go see your friends. You're not going to be able to excel in work. You're not going to be able to spend time with your family, take whatever trip you want to take. Like none of that's going to happen if you're not physically, mentally well.
Correct.
Like Erika knows, I went through this whole phase like 3 years ago. I mean, I'm still like working through it, but I've improved a lot. So I basically would overload myself with socially. Like I would never say no to anything. I was always trying to fit everything in and
cramming
do it
10
all
pounds of shit into a 5-pound bag.
Constantly. Like I was doing stuff back to back to back. I didn't have a weekend that I was home. Like it was bad to the point where I got a physical anxiety attack. And like for those of you who have experienced that, like
mental health moment.
Literally.
Seriously. I mean, dead ass.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's, you know, we joke, but
all joking aside.
Yeah. You have to like, that forced me to take a step back and realize, okay, I need to change something because something that I'm doing is not working. And since then, it's obviously not a linear road, but I've really worked to prioritize balancing, you know, weekends that I have plans and making sure that I don't have too many consecutive weekends in a row because I know that's my demise and that's where I won't be able to handle it. And just stuff like that. Again, you have to feel this out for yourself and know your body and know all that, but you have to prioritize yourself.
Yeah. And then also cutting out like the bad habits too, right? Like the scrolling on TikTok at night. And think about those hours that you spend doing mindless, wasteless shit that you could be putting towards other areas that could be bettering yourself. And just like a better use of your time overall. I don't know. I mean, you have to think about that for you and figure out what that means to you. But I know all of us have room for improvement.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would spend like every night, especially like I feel like through the holidays in January, it's like I was a mushroom on the couch just every night watching a Christmas movie or watching Bravo or like whatever it was, just melting my brain. And now I'm starting to make that shift and like do more productive things with my time and like make the effort to do some sort of exercise for a little bit of time. Or, you know, we work on like podcast stuff. Like it's things that are more stimulating to my brain and therefore it's a cycle and it's making me more motivated just in my day-to-day life.
Yeah, totally. So I think not only physical space, but your time. And then I think the other area, and this kind of goes hand in hand with the whole energy and space-time continuum that we're talking about,
in the millennium.
People.
Yeah.
Decluttering people
you have
in your
to.
life.
You have to, again, like we touched on this, I think, in our friendship episode, but you have to pay attention to how the people that you're spending time with make you feel and act accordingly.
Say it with me now. Unfollow, block, delete, cancel subscription, disconnect.
You have to. You have to. You know what? Now's the time. As I'm like going through Instagram, I'm like looking at someone and I'm like, I don't even know who you are. Like, why do I follow you? Or like, if there's people that are, what did I do?
I know, I'm just thinking about some of the people that we were just discussing before this of like, we need to unfollow them.
Yeah, well, it's just like people that you meet from these like random places,
Oh
and
my
it's like,
God.
where did you come from? Like, I don't even know.
But like, love to see you thriving, girl.
Like, absolutely go off, queen. And I'm like, you know what? You could stick around.
Yeah.
But there's certain people, or even influencers too, where it's like, you know what? They're kind of irrelevant to me now. Like at one point, you were friends with them maybe, or you followed this influencer for
Or they
some
were adding
reason.
value to you
Right.
somehow. Like you
And
were
now-
gaining something from that
Yeah.
following. Now you're
And
not.
now, you know what? It's just not adding that same value to me, and I don't need it, and it's just cluttering my feed.
Yep.
Like, social media can be a black hole if you let it be.
Mm-hmm.
If you're intentional about who you're interacting with, it'll be so much of a happier place for you.
Nailed it. Be intentional.
Yeah.
That is the theme of this entire episode is you need to be intentional.
Yeah.
with these
Intentional with
areas.
your space, your time, and the people you surround yourself with. Because you know what? The people you surround yourself with have an effect on you.
Totally.
And we were talking about this too. Like, we both have really been trying to channel like positivity, having a positive mindset on things and not letting things get us bogged down. Like when we're frustrated about something, like trying to flip it and move on from it. And if you're around someone that is going to bring it back to the negative every time, it's making it 10 times harder for you to keep up your positivity.
Yeah.
And it's draining.
It's the concept of where if something good happens to you, I think I saw this recently somewhere on TikTok, so I don't know who or where to give it credit to, but it was actually if something good happens, like a good coincidence, or like, I'm trying to think of an example really quick.
Okay, like someone buys your coffee.
Someone buys your coffee, or I'll give you an example. I was in TJ Maxx. It was right before the holidays. I was looking for this one particular item, and I could not find it anywhere in the store. I was there 2 days prior. I was freaking out. I'm like, I need this for a couple of extra gifts to give out. It was those cute
the mailboxes?
games
Oh, no.
that look like a. You have one under there, the Scrabble. It looks
Oh,
like
the
a book.
book.
It's
It looks like a
decorative.
book, yeah.
Yep. So it's like a decorative thing you put on a coffee table, but it's actually like a board game. So like Scrabble or chess or, there was like Monopoly. There was all different ones. And I was so defeated. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go to another store. It was like literally the day before Christmas Eve. I was losing my shit. All of a sudden, I'm like, you know what? I had something else in my hand. I went to go check out. All of a sudden, in the checkout line, everyone knows the TJ Maxx checkout line always has a bunch of shit
Yeah.
up there. I see 3 sitting on the shelf. I'm like,
oh my God.
and so what did I say out loud? Thank you. More, please. Because
Yep.
it's things like that if you start to recognize,
Yep.
oh my God, that was like that little blessing for today, that little thing that I needed to like get out of that negative mindset. Thank you. More, please.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I actually, this made me think of...
It's a long-winded way to get there. Sorry, guys. but-
No. It's, it's all relevant. And we are big believers in like signs from both the universe as well as like our family members who have passed on and things like that. So today I was driving and like, again, I'm talking about how like my brain is so cluttered and I'm going a million miles a minute, but I stopped at a light. So I'm forced to just sit there and look around, and the car directly in front of me had the numbers of like my nanny. And then, so I snapped a picture, I sent it to my mom, and then I drive the rest of my distance. So I drive an hour. And then I get there, and I look at, like, she responded to me, so I go to respond to her back. And I noticed that next to the numbers, there was also the first 2 letters of her name. And I didn't even notice that at first. How weird is that?
So weird.
But it's like when you notice those things and you interact with it, and you're like, oh, like, hi, nanny. Or, like, to me, that's like, she sees what I'm doing, like, I'm doing the right thing, like,
Yeah, she's like validating you in that moment.
yeah. And then I see more of it. And like
Exactly.
so it's just one of those things.
Like angel numbers.
Yeah. Yep, same
You
thing.
see
You see 'em all the
111,
time.
you see 222. There was a period where I was seeing 6s in a row and I was a little creeped out, but it was like
It actually means
trying
something
to
good,
yeah, it does mean something good, but it was like trying to tell me something. It's like screaming in your face. And the more you look for those things, the more they're going to appear. But that goes with anything. If you are looking for negative things or you're constantly projecting negativity,
You're going to see it everywhere.
if you're constantly just in that mindset, you're going to keep seeing it and you're going to keep feeling it more. So not only do you need to declutter your space, your time, the people, and just overall
and your mind.
Your mind and your brain.
Yeah, yourself.
You know, it is also, it comes down to like patterns, right? And so we talk about like building a habit. And of course, it's like, you know, still the beginning of the year. And you're trying to, I know a lot of us are trying to like establish good routines and like, you know, it's hard. It's a
well,
weird
you were just
rut.
telling me you're like getting settled in your apartment and you're like, I want to get a better routine for myself of like, how do I wind down for the night? And actually taking off your makeup every night
would be a bonus.
Listen, I feel like I've been pushing you to do that and you're doing it like on
when
your
I'm
own.
here.
Like, you don't do it at home.
I don't really do that in my own lonesome
Yeah.
as much, but I'm going to be better with it.
You know what? I'll text you every night. I'll tell you to take it off.
But I think this comes, and what it boils back down to is like patterns and habits that you have. And if there's something that you're doing that you want to not do anymore, that you want to break that habit, essentially, mathematically, scientifically, because don't forget, we are Einstein and Thomas Edison right now.
Right.
We have discovered that the only way to break that bad habit, so the scrolling on the TikTok at night, or whatever it is that you want to change, the only way to break it is to replace it with a new habit or a new pattern. So you have to figure out what steps you need to take to get there. But for example, for me, it's very easy for me to say, I don't want to take my makeup off. I'm just going to go lay in bed. How about take my makeup off?
Well, that's what I try to tell you.
And
like, I'm like, no,
I'll feel better for it.
It's an experience. Like it's the act of like winding down. Like it's just relaxing. You get the warm water going, and it helps relax.
It's not like stop looking at it like a daunting thing. It's actually going to help you feel better in the long run.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have the pimples on your face that you're going to be annoyed about in 2 days because you slept through makeup on. Like, let's get real.
Yeah.
So again,
well, and I think it goes back to too. I keep like reminding myself of this because it's on my vision board, but it's something that says I have to do this. Crossed out, I get to do this.
Yes.
And it's like you have to bring back that gratitude of, oh, I'm able to wash my face at night. I think you should be able to do that. But, you know,
how about I'll do you one better? Me going to get groceries. I'm like, oh, I have to go to the grocery store. I have to go get this. How about I get to go buy this food for myself?
Yep.
And I have the means to go buy the food. And then I have
you can walk in the store and get whatever you want to get.
That I have the ability to cook myself a really good, like, nutritious meal that's tasty, that I enjoy, that's what I want to make. Like, how about let's not look at everything so glass half empty and look at it glass half full?
Yeah, because you know what? It's going to make you enjoy it eventually. Fake it till you make it, right? You're always faking it till you make it at some point, right? Why not with the things that you don't want to do, like exercise? There are some people who want to go to the gym. I personally don't. It doesn't.
But eventually,
yeah,
you will start to, because when you see results, that's when you say, oh shit, I want to keep doing this.
But it's also like things that make you feel good, right? When you eat good food, when you work out, it makes you feel good. So that's what you have to channel and just don't psych yourself out. Like psych yourself up and be like, no, this is going to be great. Like I'm going to love cooking this meal. Like it's going to be you know what? Put on a playlist while you cook and put on that cozy jazz that I love and make it a mood. Or, you know, put on a show and do that while you're cooking or whatever it is, or while you're on the treadmill.
Instead of going and just getting takeout and bringing it back and vegging on the couch and like you need to replace these habits. And this is all part of like what we're saying. You need to take stock of your life right now and you need to weed out the things that are not serving you and replace it with things that will.
Yep. Absolutely.
Period.
Fill your cup up. Excuse
me, Froggy.
Maybe I'm getting a little allergic.
Oh man, the apple cider's literally.
Actually can't.
What I will say too is that these things that we're trying to advise you of might feel like daunting right now. Like you might feel like this is, oh my God, there's so much I have to take inventory of and fix and do. Okay, Rome wasn't built in a day, number one.
Yep.
And remember the domino effect. That one thing that you decide to do will then knock over the next domino. That one small habit or that one small thing that I'm not going to scroll at TikTok, on TikTok tonight. I'm going to go to bed or I'm going to read a book. Then that domino hits the next domino. I can't speak. The domino hits the next one.
It makes it easier to do the next thing.
Actually, I'm going to not only, not scroll on TikTok, I'm going to take my makeup off.
And I'm going to run
do my skincare. And then I'm going to read the book. And then it's like, oh, wait, now actually, I'm going to do a meditation. I'm going to fucking become
the Dalai Lama.
The Dalai, right? So it takes these small little steps that will eventually knock over the next domino that will be 10 times its size.
And honestly, I can tell you, like, I've just been implementing these couple of things lately, like drinking more water and trying to make healthier choices. Like, it's all of those little domino effects, and I can't tell you how much better I feel about myself. I still don't feel great. Like, I'm like, I need a lot of work, right?
WIP, work in progress.
Yeah, but that's exactly it. I feel that I'm making progress, and that makes me feel good.
Yep.
I feel like I'm working towards something. I feel better mentally.
100%
and that is like more than half the battle.
So just suck it the fuck up, grow up, get a pair, and remember, it's just not that serious.
See you next time, guys.
Bye.
Good luck decluttering.